We'll go ahead and get started here. Today is July 8th. It's 5 o'clock p.m. and we are entering into the specially called emergency meeting of the Boerne ISD Board of Trustees. And let's see, we've got Mr. Carlin Fryer, we've got Maritza Gonzalez Cooper, we've got Dr. Kristen Kraft, myself Garrett Wilson, Christy Schmidt, Courtney Darter Bruce, and Rich Senna. So we have a quorum. We're good to go there. And so now we'll move to the agenda. Could I get a motion to approve the agenda? Great. Okay, so we've got the agenda approved. Dr. Kraft, would you like to walk us into the background on the meeting here?
Sure, definitely. Well, first of all, I want to say thank you all for being available to join us for an emergency meeting. As you know, we've had 3 events in the past week of some damage, unforeseen circumstances and damage happening at 3 of our campuses at Cibolo Creek, Boerne High School, and Currington Elementary School. And I'd like Mark Stahl to join us at the podium to provide an overview of those 3 and give board members you a chance to ask any questions.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. I'd also like to recognize Gil Salinas. He was very instrumental over the break. I was on a cruise ship in the Pacific, so Gil and the whole operations team, great job. So the first event was I believe it was, you can look at the dates here. First event was Cibolo Creek Elementary. That was on 6/28/2024 at approximately 11 a.m. We had the abatement contractor, which is the subcontractor for the general contractor. They were basically in there and tearing everything out. A man was on a scissor lift. He was raising the scissor lift up in the air, and he hit a sprinkler pipe, which caused it to become dislodged from the coupler, which resulted in flooding and substantial damage to about 19 classrooms as far as water damage. And not necessarily classrooms, the 19 rooms included the administrative area also. Then on June 29th, the following day, about 4 o'clock in the morning, 3:45 to be precise, we got an emergency call to a fire at Boerne High School in one of the band rooms next to the auditorium, where some stage lights were found to be plugged into the wall. The stage lights belong to the Bridge Fellowship, and there was an electrical short, and the lights caught on fire, and we had an electrical fire in the wall, which of course prompted the fire alarm system to go off and turn on the sprinklers, which also resulted in substantial flooding and damage associated with that. And then at Currington Elementary School on July 3rd, at about 9:15 a.m., had another general contractor at Currington working in the library. We have 2 fire risers at that school. They shut off one of the fire risers. They failed to shut off the other fire riser. When they cut the line to relocate it, there was still some pressure in the line. Luckily, not as much pressure had both risers been on, and it caused some isolated flooding in the library and adjacent to it in one of the hallways. But that was more confined and isolated, so it was cleaned up rather quickly. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
So, Mark, that's the first question had to do with Boerne High School. So, when we have the facility rented like that, does the tenant provide, what kind of insurance does the tenant provide for situations like this?
Typically, it's a $1 million policy. That was the policy with the Bridge Fellowship.
So we're having to do resolutions to pay immediately, but their insurance will be reimbursing us for these types of things?
So with Boerne High School, we've made a claim with TASB, and they will work with us. They're willing to fund that claim immediately or whenever we authorize They will work with the Bridge Fellowship's insurance to subrogate those costs.
And then I'm assuming the same thing with the other two, the contractors have builder's risk of some kind or something.
Yes, sir. So not only does the general contractor have a insurance fund, the subcontractor does as well. Currently at Cibolo Creek Elementary, it's been being handled through the abatement contractor, and then Bandy's insurance is there as a backup should something arise.
Ultimately, we shouldn't see any expense out of any of this. It's just reimbursement from them.
That is correct.
So any subrogation that would cover our deductible that we would be responsible for on a short-term basis, correct?
That's correct.
Was it fully assessed as far as what all we lost at Boerne High School as far as instruments or uniforms or stuff of that nature?
Yeah, so me along with Destiny, the district's attorney, and our operations staff, we walked that campus this morning. We walked all three campuses. There were some string instruments that were lost, some cellos. There was also some cabinetry that was affected at the bottom. The stage will need to be replaced, so all of that was assessed. Our mitigation company, ServPro, has done a great job. They're local. They responded. They're here in the audience tonight.
So Burrington was a quick fix. Estimated time of the repairs at Boerne, because that sounds like that's the most serious.
Well, that's a technicality. If we can get approved tonight and authorize the superintendent, we can give authorization to our mitigation contractor. They have assured me they will get done by the time school starts.
Thanks.
So in all three cases, we're probably good by the time school starts, it sounds like.
Yes, sir. I've worked with ServPro several times in the past. They are a stand-up mitigation and restoration company. They've done a lot of work already that they probably shouldn't have done or wouldn't have done, but they've done it just for good customer service. So.
Thank you very much for doing that.
Yeah. Well, if there's no other questions, comments, I would entertain a motion. I think we had a little
Do that.
special language here.
So I move that the board adopt the resolutions as presented to delegate emergency authority to the superintendent to address the unforeseen damage at Boerne High School, Cibolo Creek Elementary School, and Carrington Elementary School, including waiving competitive procurement requirements under Chapter 44 of the Texas Education Code, and delegating authority to the superintendent to contract for construction services to address the emergency remediation and repairs to Boerne High School, Cibolo Creek Elementary School, and Carrington Elementary School, and ratifying any contracts previously entered into by the superintendent for the emergency repairs.
And in addition to that, can I add to move to direct the board secretary to add the resolutions to the minutes of this meeting?
To include that? in the
Sure.
motion.
I'll
Great.
include that.
Okay. So we got a motion, and can I get a second? Great. From Maritza Gonzalez Cooper. Got a second. All right, the motion passed, or well, any not in favor, same sign. No? Okay, we're good. So the motion passes. Great, thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mark. And, okay, well, that's all we had on the agenda tonight, so I would entertain a motion to adjourn.